I wanted to share with you guys how I've been prepping for GAPS over the last 5 weeks. One of the first things we did actually was order a Berkey, a water filter. We were just using a Brita. So we got a Berkey, a huge water filter that sits on our counter, and it's amazing. We've had it for about a week and a half, and we have clean water now all the time, and I feel really confident in the process of filtering everything out. Just a couple days ago, I cleaned out the pantry and the fridge of all the stuff that we would not be eating. So it's actually been probably a 5-week process of trying to eat, all the rice, all the noodles, all the grains. And we haven't really been buying a lot of that stuff back in. But finally, I'm just like, well, we're not going to eat this tub of mayonnaise. What are we going to do with it? So we just had to throw everything away. All the stuff that I wanted to keep, like my tea that I know is not GAPS legal right now, or protein powder, macaroon, some of those powders that I have, I just put them in a pantry and shut the doors, and we're not going to look in there right now. I looked through it. None of it's really tempting, like the marshmallows. I threw those away because I knew that I'd be in the cabinet eating the marshmallows after the kids went to bed. So anything like that, I knew I just had to get rid of and throw out. And it's amazing. There wasn't anything left in my pantry or my fridge. I'm not even kidding you guys. It was so sad to me. But I think in my pantry, I had a jar of apple cider vinegar and a big thing of coconut oil. It was pretty sparse. So I had to go shopping, for all the GAPS stuff. So another thing I did was I put away the coffee pot. That was a really sad day. I actually, when I was putting away the grinder, I got kind of sad because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get up in the morning and meet with you and have my coffee. So I put that away. I just put it in storage. I put this toaster in storage. The rice cooker. I love my rice cooker. It's big and beautiful. It makes the best rice. And I just got it a year ago. I put that away. Hopefully I'll get it out again one day. We'll see. I also put away all of our nonstick pans and pots. So we had a couple of those, and I know that we're really supposed to be using stainless steel. So I went and bought a stainless steel pot, and I had a big stock pot, and I have enamel pots, but I had to get rid of the nonstick ones. So I just put those in storage. Don't want to be rash about anything like I normally am, but so I put those away. Other things I did was I bought the supplements that I'm supposed to be taking, like the probiotics, the digestive enzymes, the fermented cod liver oil. And then I just ordered some liver pills. So I think it was Radiant Life. That was a good source of that I've heard really good things about. So I haven't taken any of those yet, and some of them haven't even arrived, but I wanted to have them for that second week when we're supposed to start that. Other things I did, I got this book, the Heal Your Gut Cookbook, and it's been really, really good so far. It breaks it down into stages and what you can have during each stage, and then recipes, which is really nice. And there's even pictures. I hate cookbooks with no pictures. Those are the worst. But there's some pictures in there, so that's good. Obviously I had to go back and reread the Gut and Psychology Syndrome book, the actual book. I pieced through it, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do about a year ago. And so this month when I made the decision, I actually had to go through and read it. What else did I do? Oh, I made sauerkraut. Okay, so Health, Home, and Happiness, there's a lady on there, and I forget her name, but I've watched lots of her videos. She has an awesome video about how to make sauerkraut. So I watched her video and I made sauerkraut. I also got her a 30-day guide, how to start the GAPS intro. And I actually purchased it a year ago, and it's on my computer, my dead computer. So I just repurchased it, and I was flipping through it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I bought it twice. It's pretty good. So I'm excited to start utilizing that. In the last month, I've also made broth probably about 6 times, chicken and beef. I just wanted to learn how to do it so I was comfortable with it. And then I wanted to give it to my kids, and you guys, they loved it. I made a couple weeks ago, I made homemade chicken noodle soup. And Isabel, my youngest, was just eating the broth. And so I'm like, let's try a cup of this. And they all drank their cups and asked for more. And I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. Yeah, so kids are good on broth. I also just went to Walmart and got those big jars with lids. The big ball jars. So that's been working really well for bone broth. I also sourced meats. So I really want to do like the whole grass-fed beef. Guys, I could not. There's no way we can do it. The only way to get grass-fed meat around here is to buy a cow. And I do not have a deep freezer, and I'm not going to buy a cow right now. I would in the future like to go in with somebody to buy like a fourth of a cow or something like that. But just right now, without a deep freezer and just doing this intro, I thought, let's just keep it simple. So we have a local locker here, and they do no antibiotic, no hormones. So that's what we're doing right now. And it's a little pricier than normal meat, but it's not super bad. And it's local, so I can just go to the store and pick it up whenever I need it, which I really like that versus the ordering meats online. I looked at that. First of all, it's super spendy, and second of all, like, if I need meat, like, I probably need it tomorrow. I don't want to go online and order it. So, which I did order some tallow, the beef fat. I ordered some of that online, so that'll come in the mail in the next couple days because I was not about to make some of that stuff. Let's see. Okay, so the week before we started, we lessened our bread intake. We had really been cutting carbs before that, but we'd still been having our toast and our sandwiches, so we really lessened our bread the week before. And then the funnest part, this was so much fun, you guys, was I just sat down and meal planned. So for the first week, I'm like, okay, what am I going to need? Stage 1, we're really aiming for 7 days per stage. And I have no idea. Maybe we'll do less. Maybe we'll do more. I don't know, but that's just kind of what I guesstimated at the beginning. So 7 days, I made my meal plan and I made my grocery list. And then I went shopping just the day before we started. And I was like, okay, what do I need to get from Whole Foods? What do I need to get from the farmer's market, from this local butcher shop? And then I went to those places and saw and got what I could get. And then I just went to the regular grocery store and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just get the rest there. So it was really awesome. So then I was able to fill my fridge and my pantry back up. Well, there's only onions in my pantry, really. But it's just amazing how different my fridge looks now than what it did before. And you guys, I thought we were eating pretty well, but we had a lot of grains going on, a lot of beans, a lot of grains, a lot of canned goods. So now my fridge just has bunches of veggies in it and lots of broth now and lots of frozen meats and some frozen veggies and onions on the side, coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, salt, pepper. It's really simple. It really is. So the other thing I did was I cleared the calendar. So I've been really intentional about, okay, August 17th, this date has been on the calendar for a long time. We are starting GAPS. We're starting on a Friday so that Aaron will be home on Saturday and Sunday, can help us through the real struggle bus if we need some help. He's been a big help today. So, I wasn't sure if we'd need help the second and third day or the fourth and fifth. So I just guessed and said second and third. So far, so good. But yeah, so there's nothing on our calendar. We're not going to start homeschooling yet. We're going to do a couple of read alouds. But that's it. While we're on this intro, for the most part, we're just doing intro and watching TV and playing outside, and doing laundry and just cooking and just being in our house, not really going anywhere. We had plans to go to Adventureland, and then it's like, well, how do you take kids to go to Adventureland and say, okay, here on this hot day, here's your soup in your thermos. So there's just nothing on our calendar, and we're fortunate enough that we were able to really pull back and do that. Dance doesn't start for a couple weeks, so I think we have a good 3 weeks of just nothing, which is awesome. And the very last thing I did to prep for GAPS was the night before or the day before we started, so this would have been Thursday, I put on a huge pot of chicken broth, and that was it. I kind of played around with the idea of batch cooking broth. And I'm like, well, I have one stock pot. I've got one big, enamel pot, like Dutch oven, and I've got a crock pot. There's not that much broth I can make out of all 3 of those at one time. So I'm kind of just doing the big stock pot every day. So far that's worked. So there's that. I hope that's been educational or helpful or encouraging for somebody. I know jumping onto this diet is a huge decision. So props to you guys if you're going to do it.